Hey everybody, how you doing? For some reason, no, my phone is not showing the clock on that anymore. Don't really know why. So this is night 3. I'm gonna finish the watercolor tonight and show you how you can do it. So the first night we did just the outline in the pistachio green, and then the next night I did the watercolor with the watercolor brush, which you can use. I realized when I rewatched my video that you can just use a regular paintbrush. Just take your chalk paste on even like a paper plate, or even the lid like I did, water it down, and just use the paintbrush to color in the lines. There's a lot of the different stencils that have the outlines like this that you can color in. There's even one that's like a choose your adventure, and just to get all different kind of colors that you can use on the scenes. So to finish this one off, and you can leave it if you want the watercolor to look like that. If you can see the lines coming through where the purple is, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to put it back, the transfer back on top of it, and go over it again with the green, just so I can get like the pop of the lines back in there, plus still have everything filled in with the colors. So let's see how that works. All right, I'm going to fuzz up my transfer so it's not super sticky. That way it won't pull off any of the chalk paste I've got underneath there. I don't want it to pull up anything that I've already done. So I definitely want to make sure it's nice and fuzz. And the hardest part, I think, is going to be lining it up on top of where it was before. So I think that's going to take the most time. I moved my desk, but my chair keeps rolling. That is not working well. All right, I got to put something down because this chair is just going to be death me. Maybe that'll help keep it from rolling. So I moved the rug that was underneath it too. All right, let's see. So I do want it nice and extra dull. You can use an old tablecloth, old towel, washcloth, anything. You could use your shirt. Get my fingerprints. There we go. I just want to make sure that I bring up my page in case I can see any questions as they happen. So it's still sticky. You see it's coming up. It's just not super sticky where it's sticking to my hands. I'll pull this back down. And let me pull my video up. Use an old tablecloth. Okay. So I've got this back up. And now I'm just going to try to get it on top of what I did last time and make sure I line it up. So I'm going to get it in the right direction. And you can see through the mesh screen. So I'm just trying to make sure that I've got the areas filled. And see, it's moving around so it's not sticking, but I will be smoothing it down with my hands. And then I've got that nice square frame in the middle, which is helping line it up. And I think I've got it. I'm just going to smooth it down, and I'll lift it up and show you what it looks like. Remember I did like the pistachio color. Oh, where'd it go? So this was the original outline color, and then I did the watercolor. And now I'm trying to decide if I want to use the pistachio to go over the top of it, or if I want to use like maybe the Shimmer Frost or something. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but that'll give it a little bit more depth too. So let's see. Got my Shimmer Frost, which is white glitter, essentially. White glitter paste. So let's see. It's one of the new ones. Of course, I've used it before. Just still have some on the lid though, so I'm just going to scrape that off. The shimmers, usually you will never find a problem with the old paste formula with the shimmers. This is a new paste formula, but still no problem. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the area again. And I didn't hold it up for you, did I? So you can see through there. So you can see the colors shining through from where I did the watercolor. Those colors that you can actually see are going to get covered up with the white shimmer paste. And hopefully I'm holding it down where you can actually see it. So any colors that you see on there that aren't this pistachio green color is going to get covered up. And the pistachio green area is going to end up looking white. Probably with a little pistachio around the edge. Okay, so make sure it's nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to start adding my chalk paste. And then take a look and see what it looks like. There's all different ways you can add the chalk paste. I'm just going to go ahead and put like different piles on it and then just start smoothing it out. Being that I've already done it before, it's more or less just adding like a little white shimmery glitter to it. And as I'm putting it on thicker and scraping it off, I'm just moving what I scrape off to the next section. And I don't even need to go through the middle area because there's no silk screen in that area. Just want to make sure that I get everything covered. And then any excess chalk paste you have, just pop right back in the jar to use next time. The new paste formula has the foam seals at the top. Those you want to keep in there. They will help just keep it from drying out. The older it gets, the more it's going to want to, even if it's the new, probably even if it's the new formula. We haven't had the new formula long enough to know for sure, but, oh, I had a little bubble under my transfer, so hopefully that's okay. Find out when I pull it up. Okay. So now I'm just going to get a little grip on the corners and then try to lift up evenly and nice and slowly. Oh, I gave it a nice shimmer. I'm glad I used the white. And then I'm just going to take this and put it upside down in my water basin. Upside down so it doesn't stick to the bottom. So let me hold it up and I can show you. So it really changed the look from what it was at the beginning. And I'll go through and I'll get a couple of shots of the original, the watercolor, and then this at the end. So you can see just by doing that, it made the leaves pop out more. I got a little one here on the edge, which I'll use a Q-tip to clean that up. But the purple flowers pop purple color instead of just being a black background. It gives you a little something extra. You can see here I did go outside the line a little bit. I can use my detail tool to clean that up if I want, but I think it looks fine as it is. So I'm going to leave it. And I'm just going to put this to the side. First, I want to see if I can get that little off. And I did smear it a little, but I'm going to wait till this whole thing dries. I don't want to touch what I just got, what I just did. So, probably actually could go over the welcome with the shimmer too. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see if this will hold. Not sure if you can see that or not. I think so. Got all my pens and stuff there. A little bit better. Okay. Right. So, got that one done for the watercolor effect. If you have any questions on how to do a watercolor or interested in it, I can pull out another project. I can pull out all the different transfers I have that you can do the watercolor effect with, and then just see if there's anything you're interested in. Putting together a couple kits. I got my stuff out to make my little freebie kits that I give to club members and designers when they join, so that you have what you need to start. You've got the eraser, a little water bottle, a little tray, squeegee stir stick, just so you can have enough to like do your first project. A little bag to keep it all in so you can keep all your stuff organized together. And then if you really like it, you probably need like a box or something to keep your supplies in. Dollar Tree is really great for just picking up little supplies like that. So we finished the watercolor effect. I'll post pictures of the before, middle, or stage 1, 2, and 3, all the way to the end. But I'll clean up my little thing on the edge there first. I was going to get out my big board next. So I haven't done one of the 18 by 18s yet. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So, just put my colors back here. So that large board that we have, that they have as the largest board, is 18 by 18. Ooh. So 12 by 18 is the C size. 18 by 18 is the D size transfer. And there's one bigger that's an E. But this is how it comes. It comes in a box like this. If you order more than one, it, you know, obviously it'll come in a box that it's wrapped in. And then you got the little corners on the edge that protect it in shipping and when you're doing your projects. So, let's see if I have enough room on my desk. I've got several D-size transfers and trying to decide if I want to do the Lilac, which is one of the nice, in the Botanical Collection, like I did the Heaven one with the herbs. This is one of those. But I also have this cool one I haven't done yet. And I have a truck transfer that I could do with it too. So I was thinking of maybe doing this one, which is the Hail. But I also kind of want to do this on a shirt. So, this one will be different layers. Oh, it's hard to decide when I've got so many different ones I do. So this is one of the new transfers, and this is the Botanical one. So this has been around for a while, but they kept it for the spring-summer collection. So, I mean, they're probably going to go away in the fall. I'll do that one. And then this one, I think I also have Welcome, so I can also do like a Welcome Y'all. That doesn't fall. Okay, so this one has actually got 4 on it that I can do with my scissors and cut it down. And let me just make a little bit more room on my desk here because I don't want to knock my laptop over. And this is definitely going to take up more room than I usually take up. Just consolidate some of my space. All right, that should work better. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. I'm going to get my little fuzzing cloth. Take this out first, and then I'll cut up the transfer. And then I will start working. Hey guys! And I will start working on this D-size transfer. I see there's people out there, I just can't see who they are. If you missed the very beginning, you can catch the replay on where I finished the watercolor effect. I just redid the outline, the original stencil on top of it, and I did it in Shimmer Frost, which is the white glitter. So I do find that, especially if you have different parts you cut, you're still going to use the whole board, but it gives you some added embellishments, and you can use these on other little ones as well. All right, so these are my transfer trimmers, and let's see, they are coated specially. I wasn't going to get them at first. I'm like, yeah, but then everybody raved about them. So I'm like, okay, I'll try them. I get some designer dollars for some free stuff. And so, you know, I just use them to get the transfer. Oh my God, I love them. Everybody who gets them loves them. And I guess people who are normally crafters, who do tons of different crafting that have like paper scissors and fabric scissors, they probably knew in advance that they would be okay. I didn't realize that, like, scissors are scissors, right? No, it's not true. They've got a coating and they cut it nice and evenly. This has got silk screen that runs through the entire thing. So even on the areas where you see are just like, don't have a mesh silk screen stencil carved into it, basically, or, you know, exposed into it, that has silk screen running through it. So when you cut it, with normal scissors, you can get a fraying. The fraying is kind of like, you know, when you had jeans for a long time and then the bottoms start to fray, or, you know, get a little bit of fraying just from wear and tear. That will help them because this has got threads all through it. Okay, so it's got a little one. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Henry Davidson Thoreau. So it's just a cute one. You can use this on any little thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can use this on any design you want. So that's a good thing about being able to mix and match them. A little line embellishment I can use on anything in addition to this one. And then a little piece of this is a lilac. It's a little piece of lilac. And lilacs come in all different colors. Purple's usually the most common, but they come like in white and pink. I'm going to grab, where is my catalog? I'm going to grab my catalog. just so I can show you how they do it in the catalog, and what else comes in the collection other than the Heaven one that I already have. There's also the Live in the Moment, which I believe is part of the Botanicals Collection. And I do still have, looks like I have 3 catalogs left. And most people don't call them a catalog. That's really what it is. But they more or less call it ideal books, because it doesn't just show you the transfer and then you figure out on your own what you can do. They give you all these different ideas on different projects. It shows all the colors of paste, and I'm just going to try to find the Botanicals Collection to kind of show you what they usually do. Ooh. Botanicals Collection. Alright, so this is taking me so long. 14. Okay. On page 14 and 15. There is a link on my page for the digital catalog, so you can see that too. It's exactly like this. I just like looking at the paper catalogs. Okay. So this is an example of everything that's in the collection. This is the Lilac transfer here. The Live in the Moment is a little 5x7 one. They've got a little beauty one, and then the Heaven one is the 12x18, but it's got the 4 different transfers in it. So you could really do it on one of the normal 12, 9x12 boards. And it just depends on how you want to do that. I could even add it to this one to, really fill it out, yes. In this one, they just did, looks like they just did this one transfer in their design. Looks like on a burlap board. So it's just like on some regular burlap, tan color background, and they just did the line for embellishment. So you don't have to use the entire transfer. You can just do whatever you want. And I make stencils, silkscreen mesh ones. So if you had something that you really wanted, you can ask me. I'm working on doing some family ones now. So I'll be doing one that says like the ADNER family. And then, I don't know if Melissa's watching or not, but I'm trying to do one for her for the Musson family. Which apparently lots of people don't understand how to spell her last name. They misspell it as muffin. It's not muffin. I've never thought of it as muffin, but I know I'm used to working with all different names for people, so usually I have to return phone calls to people and they spell their name, they've got their name spelled in the system, but it's not always pronounced the way you think. So it's really good when they have a nickname and they tell you, oh, just call me Julie or whatever. So this is fuzzing up pretty nice, but it's still really sticky on my fingers. So a good way to, oops, stuck it on itself. If you get it stuck in itself, you can slowly peel it up, nice and gently, because you don't want to rip it. And it's sticky on sticky right now. You would also spray it with water. Spraying it with water will help. But what I was going to show you is how sticky it was. So I go like this, it's coming up. I want to fuzz it a little bit more than that so that it doesn't do that. I want it to easily be able to slide across my board so that I will be able to get it off once I'm done. I'll be able to peel it off the board. And with a transfer this big, I can always put it down the opposite way and take the towel and move the towel on and off it. Just whatever's easiest for you. This one has a large silkscreen area, so it's not as sticky as that. The Hey Y'all one's got a lot of the empty space. That one is going to take me a little while to fuzz, I'm sure. It's going to need more fuzzing than this one. Okay, so get this lined up how I want it. And see it's sliding across there, which is what I want. So it's still sticky to my fingers, but I'm going to be able to get it off the board afterwards. So where's my other ones? And I'll see what I might want to use. So this has got like an extra little branch. Okay, so I can see that there's a little edge on here. It's like this can overlap to it. So I'm going to slide this over a little bit so I can fit that on here. So I'm just going to line it up with the edge like that. And then I should be able to afterwards pop this on there, and it's going to go right on top so it'll reach all the way over to the edge. All right, and let's see. So other than that, I've got my letters and my line. Now I just need to do my colors. So obviously, I don't really have a brown, so I do have my pistachio, which I love. And then lilacs are usually in the purple. We don't have a light purple. But I think I'm gonna do the peony, which is pink, which lilacs can be pink or white as well. Just trying to see what I might want to use for the base. And I do have the purple as well. Bark is in my next order, so I will have some brown eventually. Oh, I have my orange too. I love my orange. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started on this. A lot of times the whole branches start coming out green in the spring, so I'm not gonna worry about trying to get a different color in there. I'm just gonna go with green and then do the flowers, the flower buds that are starting to come out. And I think I will try to do them in the purple, but I've got my white, so I'm gonna mix my purple and white together, and I'll do that first on a little tray. My little trays. I've got them in my little kits. So you get little trays like this in your kits. You can use a paper plate too. But I'm going to put some purple and white on it to try to get a little lighter color purple to, go with traditionally lilacs or like a light purple color. So, could take an easy way out, but I won't. All right, so let's get some purple and some white. So, I'll get my little stir sticks out. Put my purple on here. And I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'll just figure it out as I go. I'm also going to need my white. So when you're mixing two colors together, I think I need to stir up my white a little bit with some water. So when you're mixing your colors together, just start with a darker color, add the white, or you can add white and just add the darker color to it and just keep mixing them up. If you do too much, you can put them into a little paint jar. If you've ever done like a paint by number kit, you know what I'm talking about for the little jars. You can get them like $6 for $1 in the dollar store. But if you're joining the club or something, just let me know because I can throw in a couple extra. Because when you do the paste packets, it's easy just to put them out in the tray and then just scoop the excess off into the other. So just mixing it together. And it's the right consistency. So I'm just trying to get it a little bit lighter, so I might end up adding a little bit more white to it. So you can see the original color is just getting a lighter shade. But I'm going to add a little white to it, so I really want it to be like a lighter kind of lavender color. Oops. So each time that you add white to it, it's just going to give it a lighter color. The darker color is the lighter you're going to have to, or the more white you're likely to have to add. All right, so that's pretty good. This gets me to the color purple that I want, which is much lighter than the original. Toss those in there. I'll keep that out just in case I need it. But pop these back in there, out of my way. Get my squeegees out, and I'm ready. Now, I'll be standing up for this because it's so huge. I'll be able to get a grip on the top the best. And what I'll do is it's going to take me a little while, so I'll do a little bit here. When I get down to about here, the flowers, I'll pull it up and give it a second or two to dry. And then I'll do like the middle section, do the same thing, and then the end section. That's just going to help me along the way. Because when I don't want to do it all, it's going to take a while because it's so big. If I wait to pull the transfer up at the end, what's going to happen is the top is going to have started to dry where the bottom is still really wet. So the bottom's going to peel up fine. The transfer is going to peel off, but likely the paste is going to have started to dry and get stuck in the mesh screen, and then I got to go over it again with wet paste. So let's these in here. Just set this to the side. I'm gonna get my squeegees out so I can do that. And I probably did a lot more purple than I need for this section of flowers here. The little transfer does have buds on it too. They're actually closed buds. But I can actually probably use dark purple on that one because they're buds that haven't opened yet. Right. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with the purple. I just want to get the little flower buds. And I'm usually not too picky if the purple touches any area that's actually a green leafy area. No one's like examining it with a magnifying glass to make sure that you didn't go over the line, and you can always use your little detail tools afterwards to trim it up. You can use, obviously, the watercolor effect that we just finished off. You can do that to fill in any gaps or just give it another added effect. So let's see if I can see underneath there. And it does get a little hard to tell where the leaves are underneath the flowers, probably. Sometimes when you pull it up, it's a little easier to tell. I'm like, oh, I covered a leaf in purple. That's all right. Because you can obviously go over it again with your paintbrush. Just trying to hit the little areas. Scrape off my excess as I'm going. And I am going to end up putting some green on top of this little purple areas to try to get in that little leafy area. So it will have some overlapping, but that's not like going to be like a huge deal or anything. You can, I could take my little wasabi tape or painter's tape off the leaf areas to do the purple. Then it would have like really nice crisp lines. But I like it more with the effect of, you know, not being perfect. Completely up to you as to what you like. And I'm getting down to some little bud areas, so I'm going to grab my little mini squeegee that I cut in half, just because it's going to make it a little easier to do the little smaller buds. I think I got all the little buds in there. So I still have way excess paste, obviously. Which I will squeeze it, I'll put into a jar afterwards and show you how to do that. So now I pretty much just have my green left. And I'm just going to scoop that right up and add it. I'm going to try to be careful around the purple. And I'll end up grabbing one of my little mini cut squeegees. Just because I don't want this green to touch the purple and then put it back in the jar to get more green out. You don't want your colors mixing because then you're not going to be able to get them separated once you've mixed them. So I'm just going to take my little squeegee, get up all nice and close where the two colors are mixing together. And I'll use the little mini squeegee in between as well. Put a little green down and then just kind of like scrape it over. Right. Got a little bit of green in here. So it ends up looking like kind of like you can see through the flowers to the green underneath. The purple actually is giving it a little bit of a shadow effect, which is pretty good too. Trying to go over the areas where I see the stems to give them a little dimension. Little gob on there. just trying to get up close to my purple. Because then once I do that, I can peel it up and not have to worry about my colors touching. Get down here nice and close again. And I'm being quiet. I'm just kind of concentrating on it a little bit to try to make sure I get it. But I also don't want to take too long by explaining too much to you, because I do want to be able to pull it up before it starts to dry. At least part of it. So I do get going on one color and then like, oh, crap, I should have pulled it up sooner. And I can tell I just got purple on it. Okay. So make sure I get it all nice and clean before I touch it. Oh boy, all right. Well, I've got purple on this now, so. Okay, so I end up getting about half of it done before I can pull it up. Oh, I do have a little bit over here, a little figure thing. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up part of it, nice and evenly and slow. Checking it as I go to make sure the top hasn't started to dry. And it hasn't started to dry too much. But this is another one where I could do the watercolor effect on those little lilac buds. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of set it like this for a minute. Let it air dry a little bit before I go on to the next part. Whoops. So while I'm letting that dry a little bit, I'm going to grab one of my little jars. Do I have one in here? I do. So there's a couple of different kinds. This is the kind that you can get at the Dollar Tree, where you get like 6 or 8 of them for $1 in a package. This is a bark color that I got from somebody, from Melissa. But you could just fill it up. And it probably will hold 2 paste packets. There's also these ones that I bought that are a little more, they just screw in and they've got a little for your protection seal on them. That's what I'm going to do with the purple that I created so that I have it for another time. I'm just going to scrape it off my tray into the jar. So there's no sense in me wasting all this chalk paste. I will use it another time, and I've got my lighter color. Whoa, I just stuck it on my, figures. I do tend to get talking and forget to pay attention to what I'm doing. And this tray is just a little plastic thing. So I would just throw it in my water basin afterwards. A little cleanup, just like any of the stir sticks. The stir sticks and squeegees are silicone, but this is just plastic. Throw it in my water. All right, so I've got this in here. So if there's ever colors that you want to try when you buy a kit or something, you're like, I don't know what I want. I don't really need brown for a lot of things. You may think that, but you probably will end up needing brown more than you think. But maybe you just need a little pink, or pink may be sold out on the website. It's selling out really fast, and it sold out first for Valentine's Day, and now with Easter it's getting low again, even though it's a new stock. But I have pretty much all the colors, so I can always give you a little sample, and you see a little goes a really long way. Then I'm just going to seal it up with the seal, in case I end up giving this away instead of using it. I know my mom probably could use a purple. I'm sending her a package this weekend. But she could use a purple with her Easter stuff, I'm sure. Okay, so that should be good. I mean, it's not completely dry. I do want to clean that off though. All right. I don't want that big purple gob to, well, we'll end up with that purple gob that I dropped on the transfer. It'll end up sticking in the chalkboard. All right, so I'm gonna grab a little stir stick and a little drop of water there. I'm gonna pop this back up like this. I'm gonna put a little stir stick under there just so it's not perfectly down or anything. And then this is pretty much gonna be green the whole way down, so I'm just gonna add the green, and then I'll pull this transfer up and pop it in my water. But I am going to clean this off first because I did get, well, let's see if I can get it off there. Okay. I'll clean this up because I did get purple on it and I don't want too much purple on the bottom part. Just want to make sure I have just green on it. All right. Hello. Keep saying hi. Maybe you guys will hit like and say hi back. I can see you out there. So I'm using all the same color on this bottom part. So it's not going to take me long at all. Just putting it on thick, and as you can see, putting it on thick and then scraping it off. Putting the excess that I just scraped off someplace else and just keep doing it until I need to go back into my jar and get some more. Now's the best time to buy paste because all the paste that they're selling now is all in the new formula. So any paste that you get in the mail from this point on will be new formula paste. Unless you end up buying a jar from somebody who, you know, has it in their own personal stock. If you end up doing that, or like if I end up giving you a little jar for color to test it out and see how you like a certain color before you buy it, it may be in the old paste formula, but I'll make sure it's in good condition before I even send it to you. And now with the weather warming up, we won't have to worry about it freezing in the mail. They were having some trouble with it freezing in the mail. I was like, yeah, but it does sit on my front porch sometimes before I get home, and who knows how long it's sat on the UPS or the FedEx trucks. Because it's traveled, it comes from Utah, so it's traveled quite a distance. So I've got my green. Alright, I'm going to pull the rest of this up, and so you see the top part's coming up nice and easy. And I'm just going to check the other part to make sure. So where I matched them back up, I can see the top part is already a little bit darker color green because it started to dry a little bit, which is fine. And don't be in a rush to pull the transfers up. Just pull them up nice and slowly. Then you're not even going to run the risk of stretching them out or anything like that. This I'm just going to kind of squeeze into my water so that it can start to loosen up the chalk paste that's on it. And because it's in the water, I'm not worried about it sticking on itself. Because it's water that you use to unstick them. So, all right. So far, this is what we've got. Little lilacs with little purple buds on there, which gives a little pop of color. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I do kind of want to let this one little section dry a little bit before I put this on top of it. I could end up with like pulling up some paste, in which case I would have to lay my transfer back down. But do I want to put the words anywhere? Yeah, it is kind of neat if I did the words on the side like that. How would that look? That would be a little bit different. What do you think? The words? I could just put the words there and hang it. Oh, did I choke my... Luckily, I'm always yelling at myself for this. The little sawtooth hangers at the top. So it's going to want to hang like this. So that solves the problem of me thinking about putting the words on the side like that. I can easily set them down at the bottom. So I'll do this here first. And then that should give this enough time to dry enough that I can put that transfer on it without pulling up any paste. So I may end up using this entire stencil. I don't always do that. I don't always use the entire thing, but I do like to mix and match them. Usually a new one, a good 5 times. Some of the newest ones that just came out are super sticky because they're good, thicker quality. These are too, but just if it feels super sticky, don't be afraid to fuzz it some more. Remember, like a test is like going on this, and it is sticking a little bit, but I can easily pull it up, so I will be able to pull it off of here afterwards. And I can use a different color for this. So, so I think I'll use my peony for this one, since I want to use my color. I do tend to stick my finger in it. I don't know why, but I do. So this is going to be nice and easy. It's the words. I mean, you can always do different effects on it, of course. I could always do like a pink, white, pink, or I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. It's a big transfer. So I don't know how well you can see this, so I'll hold it up a little bit. So you see I'm putting it on nice and thick. When I come over, scrape it so that I can read. So when I put it on thick, I can't read what's underneath it, but when I scrape it up, I can. And when you're scraping it up, you can see if you've missed, like, sometimes you miss like the very bottom of the Y on Henry, or gives you like a second chance to go over it again and be like, oops, I didn't dot that I. I didn't get the little bottom of the Y. This kind of gives you like a little second chance. Oh, for some reason my printer's beeping. Alright. So that was quick and easy. Put my pink in there. And I'll pull this up. And I kind of don't want to put it in my water bin, so I think I'll clean it right away. Oh, the pink stands out nice on the board. Maybe I should have done my lilacs in pink. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just spray this down and wipe it up. Usually if you're spraying it with water, even if you're cleaning off your board, 10-15 seconds, and then you'll be able to wipe it right off. Just enough to get, like, so if it's anything that started to dry, it's basically getting reactivated so that you can clean it up. And I'm only using white because my erasers are out at the kitchen sink. And I'll show you as I'm cleaning this up. Usually the quicker that you clean them up or stick them in water, the less likely you are to have any staining on the transfer. As you can see from this, you can see the letters are still pink. I'm not sure how that's translating through to you, but you can still see the pink. That's because I pushed pink that was on top through the silk mesh screen. So when I peel this up, you're gonna see it on the towel. But I'm gonna grab one more so I can get it nice and clean on the other side and set it out to dry. Alright, so I'm just gonna give it one last thing on this side before I pick it up. And Clorox wipes do help with them dry quicker, any kind of disinfecting disinfecting wipes. So I've got this, and you can see the lines from the pink. Can't read it. You can just see the lines. That's just because, you know, it was the silkscreen area was dirty and I cleaned it up. You want to make sure that you get it all nice and clean. And what I will do afterwards is hold it up to the light to make sure that I cleaned it completely. If not, add a little bit more water and go over it again because you don't want the paste staying in the silkscreen. Next time you go to use it, you will notice it because your letters won't be as crisp because it's blocked basically. So I'm kind of almost in reverse, pushing it through the silk screen onto the towel. My finger's really sticking to it, which is good. It's getting all its stickiness back. So don't be afraid to fuzz it. too much because it will regain its stickiness when you wash it. So I just kind of like hold it up, and I'm just like checking the edge of my letters just to make sure that I can see that I don't see any pink on it. And I don't. So I'm just going to set this over here to the side so it can dry. And this of course is wet, so I'm just going to flip it over. The last part I have is to put my little bud on the end so it fills out the screen. And I guess I don't want my towel under there, just put it on my lap. All right, so this, I can touch it now, it's not coming up. But just because you touch it doesn't mean that you should put a sticky silk screen on it, because it's sticky, and even if you think it feels dry, doesn't mean it's completely dry. It's only been like a couple minutes. I'm gonna fuzz this one up and then stick it on there. And I'll hang it up, and then I'll watch as it dries and decide whether or not I want to do any kind of watercolor effect on the lilac area or the leaf area, or even some bark in on the branch area, because it is like hollow branches, so I could give that a little color. All right. It still feels really sticky, so I'm going to fuzz it a couple more times. I'm trying not to touch my pink. Pink does look really good on the board. It took forever for it to come in, because at the time I joined, people had already bought their Valentine stuff, and all the pink was gone. But if you got red and white, you can make your own color of pink. Just like I made a different shade of purple. Okay, so a towel over here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna try to save it for this. Put this over the edge of the branch so that I can make it look a little bit bigger. I'm hoping this is where I want it. Oh, it does have a couple of flowers opened on it. Well, darn it, I'm gonna have to go into my purple again. I was thinking it was these, but I didn't pay attention. And when I get down to here where I've got chalk paste underneath it, I'm just tapping it. I don't want to smooth it out too much because I really don't want it pulling up on the stuff that's already down there. Piece on there. All right. So I'm gonna have to dig back into. You can see that is a flower, and this is a flower that's opening up, so I am going to have to put a little bit of purple still on it. But because it's in the nice little jar, I'm just going to take a little stir stick, grab it out. I can stick my little mini half cut squeegee in there, but I'll just go like this and then end up swirling it around and just see how that goes. So going to end up swirling it around, just trying to get the areas covered. And I'm going to try to make the little branch more of a green color. A little bit more out here. Oops. I got a little bit more than I wanted, but it's okay. So I got my purple on there. Just going to pop the extra back in the jar. All right, I should be done with the purple this time. I'll put it in there. And my stir stick. So that's an easy way you can get it in and out of the jar. Remember, if you have a mini squeegee, you can always cut it in half to make it nice and small. And then I just have a little bit of the green left. I don't want to get the green on it that has the purple. Just gonna get a little bit more green here. All right, and then this part I know that it's gonna start touching, but that's okay because I want some of the, I want to be able to see that the vine does go, you know, like all the way up. So it's gonna have a little bit of green mixed in there, which is fine. So, close my green up. My extra little purple over here. So, slowly fill it up. And I hit the branch just right, so you can't even tell that it was like an additional piece. Just that it's got some purple buds out there waiting to pop out. I'll set it on there just so it can get dissolving in a little bit. Because it's bigger, I'm going to take it to the sink to clean it out. So, take the little edges off of this. Usually they're just stapled on. I can hang it up. When I did the heaven one, I did it upside down. And that's why I took it off and put the bunny stuff on. But I'll redo it so I can do the entire collection. So here you go. See it. My little Henry David Thoreau quote. The leaves. And I probably could give, you know, the vine a little texture or color. Even a dark purple. Something. I'll have to think about that. I like how it is though. So let's see. Hopefully you guys can see the detail on it. On the nice big 18 by 18 board. And then I will try to let it dry before I hang it up. I have a tendency to hang things up and stick my fingers in the wet chalk paste and then have to do it again. So the only piece of this one I didn't use was the little border, which you can use that in tons of different designs. All right, so I am gonna sign off for tonight. And hope you guys have a good Friday night and that it's a nice warm weekend for all of you people in upstate. Oh, there's the mouse. Okay. All right. Night, everybody. Hope you like the Botanicals collection. If you do, let me know. And let me know if there's any chalk paste that you want. If you hit like and then share it, share this video. Just comment that you shared it so that I know who it is that shared it. Usually I'll just double check and make sure it's on your Facebook wall. But then you get entered in the weekly drawing. All right, bye.